Thanks for joining us on Bloomberg Quint. I'm joined by Yogendra Yadav, President of Swaraj India. Mr. Yadav, thank you so much indeed for joining us today. It has been a decisive mandate in favor of the BJP and the NDA. What have you made of this victory?
I've been saying for some time, even before the exit polls, that this is a completely one-way election, that the BJP, that the NDA was coming back to power. And this morning I said the only niggling doubt at the moment is whether BJP on its own will secure a majority. So of course it has not just majority, they seem to be doing better than they did last year. So clearly it is a mandate. It's a decisive mandate. It's a mandate in favor of the BJP. And personally, it's a mandate for the Prime Minister. The people have voted for him. There may be all kinds of other doubts about EVM and other things, but I don't think anything of that kind should be allowed to come in the way. The fact is that people have voted for Mr. Modi because they wanted to give him another chance. To my mind, the character of this verdict is different from 2014. 2014 was also a mandate of equal size. This is bigger. To my mind, it is bigger and more fragile. In 2014, it was anger against Congress versus hope for Mr. Modi. This verdict is not only about hope. This comes with some doubts, some anxiety, but a more decisive verdict against the opposition, against the alternatives. So it is a complete rejection of available alternatives. That is how I read the overall character of the verdict. To my mind, the lessons that one can draw from this are the following. Number one, anti-Modism doesn't work. Number two, caste coalitions don't work. Anti-Modism is counterproductive. Caste coalitions are ineffective. And number three, opportunistic coalitions may be necessary, but they are not sufficient. What you need then, above all, is a positive message. The Prime Minister carried a message. It was not entirely positive. It was a message of strength. It was a message that came with enormous negativity. But it was a message addressed to the country. The opposition did not have any such message. Congress had a manifesto, good manifesto, but didn't have a political message for the country.
Okay.
And second, you need a credible messenger.
Right.
Prime Minister came out as strong messenger. The opposition had no credible messenger, which is what has led to the result that we see today.
Okay. Mr. Yadav, I want to specifically ask you about what this means for the Congress party, and you sort of make the division between the Congress had a message but did not have a messenger. Look, they've been decimated in almost all of North India. What would the Congress take back, you would think, as far as its leadership is concerned?
It's a major setback for the Congress for the simple reason that while the opposition has done badly, the Congress has particularly done badly in areas in those states where it was a straight Congress versus BJP contest. Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Haryana, Delhi, Uttarakhand and Himachal. I believe it's only in 3 seats that the Congress is leading right now, and that's as bad a wipeout as was 1977. So clearly something is fundamentally wrong. And I had said 3-4 days ago, which sort of started somewhat premature controversy, I said this party must die. And I said it more out of anguish because the challenge that this country faces, the country needs an opposition. In the last 5 years, economy was not good. There were very serious problems. There was distress, farm distress, there was unemployment issue. And Congress, as the principal national opposition party, had the responsibility of converting that into an electoral plank. Congress completely failed to do so. So Congress doesn't seem to have leadership, doesn't seem to have strategy, doesn't seem to have vision, doesn't seem to have cadre. How do we think of Congress as responding to the challenge that lies in front of the country? And as I look ahead, I see 2 principal challenges. First, there is a challenge of electoral authoritarianism. I have won elections, don't ask me any questions now. And second, challenge of non-theocratic majoritarianism. Hindus belong to one level, everyone else belongs to a lower level. You need and party to oppose it. You need someone to counter it. This country needs an opposition. Mr. Modi needs an opposition. Can the Congress be that opposition? I don't see that. And therefore I feel this is the time to create a new alternative from the scratch.
Okay, point well taken, sir. Specifically on Uttar Pradesh, where you saw some sort of an opposition that on paper looked pretty strong. I'm talking about the Mahagathbandhan. I'm talking about the leadership between, or the partnership between Akhilesh Yadav and Mayawati. Despite all, them coming together, the active campaigning that one saw, they haven't even managed to make a big dent on the BJP's numbers, have they?
Absolutely. I thought throughout North India, throughout the Hindi belt, if there was one place where there was some resistance, it was SPBSP because of the large alliance. Frankly, it's a caste coalition that they brought together. Now, if you go to their rallies, the only thing they spoke about was caste coalition. Yadav, Dalit, Musalman. Is that the way to get votes? Is that the way to give hope? What is that the message? Unfortunately, that was their only message. And it demonstrates that while caste works in politics, only caste doesn't work. And increasingly, we have an electorate which is sick and tired of it. People say, no, we want something. They didn't have much to promise. And therefore, despite a negative rating of the Yogi government, I don't think Yogi government is popular. But people looked at Mr. Modi, they saw some possibility, they saw something big, and they voted in big numbers. I believe it's nearly 60 seats that they are getting. Now, this is unprecedented. On paper, the SP-BSP alliance was much larger than the BJP. But BJP demonstrated that if you appeal to the voters cutting across caste lines, you can get them. This is a positive message.
I have one final question, Mr. Yadav, and this is in the case of West Bengal. The BJP has not only managed to hold on to its stronghold, it's also broken new ground in Bengal. What do you think worked there?
You see, BJP has demonstrated a very powerful will, the will to power that BJP has demonstrated. I am ideologically opposed to what the BJP stands for, but if you want to look at the will to power and their capacity to expand to new places, so earlier there was Tripura, now there is Bengal and Odisha, and I won't be surprised if in a couple of years' time it's Telangana and Andhra Pradesh as well. BJP has gone in Bengal in a big way. Unfortunately, through a message which is very divisive, which is extremely not in keeping at all with the spirit of the country, and with a lot of local violence. I should add that violence began with the left. Mamata Banerjee carried forward the tradition of violence, and with the entry of the BJP, it's become much worse. Bengal sadly had a choice between going back to 1960s and going back to 1940s. And BJP represents going back to 1940s. And I really fear for Bengal because in the next 2 years, while BJP rises and would make a bid for 2021, it in all probability, I fear this would lead to enormous local violence in Bengal. But yes, looking at it purely as a game, BJP has learned how to spread to new areas, and increasingly BJP could be, we used to talk about Congress as the one dominant party. BJP could be that one dominant party like Congress used to be in the 60s and 70s.
Mr. Yadav, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much indeed for joining us with your perspective, Yogendra Yadav, with his analysis of what's happened in these elections.